The starting five have been introduced for both teams, and we're ready for an MVCC Varsity Game of the Week, the first one of the year for both schools. I'm Jared Bergstrom alongside Andy Horton. Andy, who do you think is going to have to be the difference maker in this game for Springboro? Because, I mean, obviously Michael Berner is just as tall as Mo Najee, but it looks like Najee has the stalkiness compared to Berner.
I think the guy that's going to have to be the difference maker for the Panthers is Connor Greavy. The guy he's electric. He's really athletic. He's got a nice handle on the ball. He's their point guard. He's the guy that does everything for him on the offensive end. So he's going to have to be the guy to step up, take a big brunt of the load tonight. He's going to have a rough time because G is so good. His athleticism is absolutely ridiculous. So it's going to be rough.
Centerville wins the opening toss, and number 24, Davis Mumal, is no good on the three. And you could just look at the sheer wingspan of Mo Najee standing in the middle of the paint right there. Number 5 almost goes from across the whole paint with his wingspan.
You know, the guy, he's just a giant. I mean, his wingspan is absolutely ridiculous. He stands at 6'9", and he just covers up a huge part of the floor.
Berner gets it at the top of the key. William Yates will shoot a three, and it is good.
That's a nice pass by Berner. Found the open guy at the top of the key, and Yates didn't hesitate at all to knock that one down.
I thought the banks closed at 5.
So did I, but evidently it's open a little later tonight.
Trying to get the ball down to Najee, leaves Mumal open again for 3, and it is no good.
Mumal's going to get his own board.
Marshall will shoot it. No good for Marshall.
And they're going to call a foul on number 33.
Connor Greavy will pick up his first foul.
Marshall was trying to
Oh, they actually called it on number 24, Davis Mumal.
That's a little strange. It was looking like Greavy was holding Mumal, but evidently the ref saw something else.
Yates kicks over to Greavy. Greavy from 3, no good. Marshall with the rebound. And that's the thing with Greavy. If we've covered him the last 3 years, it doesn't matter. Greavy can miss his first 5, and then he can go on and make 6 in a row from behind the arc.
You know, the guy, he's just got a really smooth jumper, and I mean, he's excellent at knocking down his open shots. So he has no confidence issues at all.
Moser's 3 was no good on the other end for the Panthers. Gets the ball over to Pierce in the corner, no good. Greavy with the rebound, up court to Moser. Moser off the glass, no good.
Good hustle by Matt Pierce. He was unable to knock down the shot on the offensive end, but
Kick
he got
over.
back on defense.
Pierce for 3. Pierce's 3 is
Wasn't
good.
able to get his first one, but Matt Pierce knocks down the second one. Now Yates is going to walk it up.
Yates kicks it over to Greavy. Back to Berner. And really, if you're the Panthers, you got to keep Berner and Najee on the outside. If not, Najee is going to get the rebounds like he just did there.
Yeah, Berner is not really a huge offensive threat, so.
Marshall drives in, swatted away by Berner.
But man, can that kid play some defense?
Yates drives in, kicks over Greavy in the open for 3. Can't connect, and Najee didn't even have to jump for that rebound.
Greavy gets it right back. Misses it.
And Powell's right there to clean off the boards and give the Panthers a 2-point lead.
Najee has to take a better look up at the floor before he makes those passes. That one was just too easy of a look for Greavy. Yeah, I can't believe he missed it.
Cross
He's not going to miss the
courts.
next one.
That is, I didn't see, oh, that was Sneed with the shot. Right now, Centerville is 1 for 5 from behind the arc. And it looks like Centerville is going to be a live or die by the 3 kind of team so far in this early in this game. And you can see there Euchre telling Yates to play with more intensity. I think Springboro does not want to let off the gas.
No, the
Burner.
The Elks are a really good defensive team, especially with Mo down inside. But that time he wasn't the guy. He wasn't the guy down low on the block, and they got abused.
Powell with the height advantage on Marshall, went up on him and got the easy kiss. Sneed thought about taking a shot, gives it down low to Najee. Najee drives in, has it poked away, and they're going to call Powell for a foul.
And Garrett Powell is not happy about that. Neither is the Springboro
Let's see if we
section.
can maybe get a replay of that one.
And they just threw the ball into G, and he missed it, but Sneed was able to recover. Now Sneed up top. He's going to drive, go around G.
It almost looks like Najee is out there blocking his own teammates, as it's hard for them to get around him once he gets down into the paint.
He doesn't really look like he's settled into the game yet.
Pierce shoots a three, no good. Offensive rebound, though, for the Elks.
The Elks are really wanting to shoot these threes right now, and they're struggling.
Najee's going to shoot a three. Najee's three is no good.
Good hustle by Sneed to try and get the glass, or to try and get the board. But
Powell kicks it over to Moser. Yates is going to shoot his second three, and Yates drills it.
Yates is looking good so far.
Centerville calls a quick full timeout. Watch Yates drill a three coming up the court. And Springboro leads 10-3 early.
This definitely was not what we were expecting, because
I wasn't expecting Centerville to take 7 threes in the first 4 minutes.
you know, I'm really puzzled by what they're doing, because they've got the biggest guy out there, Najee, and there's that three right there. But Najee, he like we've said, he's 6'9". He stretches out all the way across the floor. You would think that they would try and give it more to their big man.
I mean, it almost looks like Najee's in the way, I would say, so far early.
Right now, the only offense that the Elks have been able to produce was a Matt Pierce three.
And I don't think Brooks Cups is happy. 1 for 7 from behind the arc this early in the game.
I would definitely think that if you're the coach of the Elks, you're looking for better shot selection.
I think he's going to tell his team to tone down on the three-point shooting, as that is not working. I mean, Springboro has 2 for 4 from 3 so far.
I understand if shooting a lot of threes is part of your identity, but you have to get something clicking, and right now it just hasn't been working.
I think Centerville needs to come in and make a statement shot here to try and get their crowd back into it.
Yeah, their student section has been absolutely silent, and Springboro
Pierce drives in off the, well, no, not off the glass, nothing but net.
Matt Pierce been the only Elk able to get something going so far.
And you see they took Najee out and replaced him with number 11, Keba Archimialo. And Connor Greavy just drilled his first 3 of the game.
Like we said, he missed. I think he missed his first 4, but he got an open
All
look
I can
and
say if
knocked
you're
it down.
Centerville is do not let that kid catch fire. A backdoor cut by Sneed, and it goes out of bounds. Centerville's second turnover. You see here, and it right in between the legs, and I don't know if Sneed saw it coming or was expecting it.
It was a nice look by Pierce, but
And
him and Sneed were just not on the same page on that one.
Moomaw checks into the game for Sneed. Now you see C.J. Emanuel bring the ball up the court.
He's guarded by Marshall.
Burner kicks it back to Powell, or that's Moser. Moser down low to Powell. And Powell's going to back up Moomaw and count the bucket, and he's going to go to the line to shoot 1. Moomaw is going to pick up his second foul, and just watch him back him up.
The young man has great awareness and control of his body, and he's just able to slowly and confidently work his way in. And now he's got a chance for a three-point play the old-fashioned way.
Foul is no good.
Now Marshall's going to bring it up as he surveys the court.
Gives it over to Moomaw, who kicks it to Pierce. Pierce drives in. Marshall thought about a three, it looked like. Moomaw has it. Moomaw 0 for 2 from behind the arc so far. Drives into the paint, and a jump ball is going to be in favor of Springboro.
Much opposite of the first game that we watched here in the JV. The Springboro, they have been the first one to every single loose ball so far.
You just got to love the banter back and forth between student sections. Berner gets the ball poked away, and I think that's going to be a foul on Archimialo, his first. That'll be team's third.
I think Moser needs to make better passes. I mean, his guy wasn't really open, and he tried to force something there. Almost paid for it.
Greavy kicks it to Powell. Powell will shoot a three. Powell drains it.
And the Panthers are on fire here in the first quarter. 18 early. It's a 13-point lead.
Pierce drives in. Foul will be called. I believe it was Moser.
Just wide open look.
And look, the big guy, Mo Najee, is sitting down on the ground, and he's still a good foot above the scores table.
Looked for Centerville to try and get Matt Pierce involved a little more. We've watched him play a lot in the past, and the guy has been the only one to be able to get anything going so far.
And right now he has got to find a way to get his teammates involved. Pierce has the only 5 points for the Elks. Kicks over to him, drives in, a foot inside the three-point line, and it's good. Pierce has all now 7 points for the Elks. 45 seconds left in the first.
Matt Pierce came to play early.
Emmanuel guarded by Pierce, kicks it over to, that is Dickerson, and it is deflected out of bounds. It'll stay with Springboro.
Now Dickerson on the inbound. Over to Emmanuel.
Emmanuel just trying to get some separation. Swatted, saved out of bounds.
And they're going to say it's out on Pierce, say he stepped out.
I don't think he stepped out.
Me neither, but I'll tell you what, got to give props to that guy. He's been hustling hard here in the first quarter.
And now Greavy checks back into the game for Dickerson. Greavy cross court to Berner. Gives it to Emmanuel. Emmanuel just inside the three-point arc, and the shot's no good. And Ballard comes up with the rebound. Kicks it over to Pierce with 15 seconds left. Down low, Moomaw swatted away by Berner. Archimialo keeps it. Kick out to Moomaw for three. And Moomaw finally gets one to fall.
Great rotation there by the Elks on
Emmanuel's
offense.
shot will count, doesn't make it though. And like that, Springboro leads 18-10 at the end of the first quarter.
That was a really nice last possession of the quarter for
Yeah, they
the
needed
Elks.
to make at least a bucket there to try and stop the run.
Now Moomaw has three Matt Pierce, the only other Elk to score so far, was 7.
And really what surprised me is that they didn't utilize Najee in that first quarter like they should have. The first couple series of possessions they had offensively, it almost looked like Najee was in the way, so they took him out, and that's when they settled down on the turnovers and got a few shots to fall. But you would think they would utilize him more off the glass.
That's something that while watching him, I've kind of noticed. His court awareness could definitely, be improved.
And really, what I've noticed is Berner is doing an excellent job for Springboro of taking him out of his element. Berner is out on the three-point line, and Najee cannot defend that.
Yep.
You see here Kyle Euchre's second season as Panthers head coach. 8-16 last year, went 1-1 with an impressive win over Piqua in the first round of the tournament, but he replaces Mike Holweger. And on the other side, Brooks Cups, 8th season as Centerville's head coach, their overall record of 113-66 and 20-7 in the playoff tournament. And Centerville's just 2 years removed from an Elite 8 run.
They've had a lot of success here in Centerville. And
really, Cups came from Graham, where he was the coach there for 12 years, and made it all the way to the Final Four in 2006, I believe, and Najee travels.
Yeah, Cup has shown the ability to coach and get his teams to perform at high levels at multiple different schools. And so, I mean, it's just shown through his history that he knows how to get guys to compete. But I really want to see him use Najee better, because he just hasn't looked very good so far. And
Springboro turns it over, their first of the game, and Centerville turns it right back over.
Out on
Archimialo.
He looks like he's been a little out of sorts here in the first half too.
And really, when Cups took over, Centerville really hasn't had a prolific big man. They've always been like the small forward, not really a power forward height, as Powell will shoot a three, and it is no good. Najee with a rebound. They've never really had a big man as tall as Najee, so I think it's going to take some getting used to for Cups to get the game plan going.
And, you know, you can really tell because of the way that they play the game. I mean, they came out and they shot 7 threes in the first 3.5 minutes of the first half. So, I mean, it shows that they like to stretch the floor, but they have such a good asset in Najee. They have to figure out how to incorporate him in.
That was Berner's first foul, team's third of the half.
And if you're the Elks, a big way that you can come and get back in is maybe try and get a few fouls on Berner. He's the only guy with the real size to be able to guard Najee.
Centerville misses, Archimialo misses the inbounds pass off the glass. Yates with the speed, and Yates turns it over. Moomaw looking to go coast to coast, and it counts. And a foul will go on Yates,
wow.
His first.
I am really surprised they called that on Yates, because it looked like a Moomaw kind of pushed him out of the way. Well, it looks like he maybe hooked him a little bit, but I mean, they're going to give him the foul. And Moomaw
is no good, but Marshall with the offensive rebound gives it to Najee, and Najee doesn't get his first basket to fall.
No good, and Archimialo tried to get the offensive board. He was unable to get it as well, but then a steal.
Ballard with the steal, and the put off the glass.
Takes it all the way by himself. He looks to Marshall, and Marshall said, go ahead and take it, fella. You were the one that got the steal.
I like the coaching decision from Euchre not to take the timeout yet. Let your team play through it. Yates wide open for three, no good.
And with Euchre having a young program, he really has to try and see if his guys can play through this.
Najee with the spin move down low on Berner. Centerville on a 6-0 run to start this quarter.
That's what you want to see if you're an Elk. Najee, he has so much potential. You just really got to give him the ball and see if he can just have an outburst.
And Euchre telling his team to go, not letting off. Powell for three. Powell's three is no good. Marshall drives in, pulls up from three. His three is good.
Wow.
And Euchre finally calls a timeout. Centerville on a 9-0 run to start the second quarter.
The way that this game has flipped so fast has been incredible. It started on the defensive end, and the Elks have just exploded. Look at that replay right there. Najee, he just finally was able to get a good look at the basket, goes up with it.
And then this just Marshall pulls up. I mean, he wasn't even done running up the court, and he just pulls up and launches a three.
Centerville likes shooting the long ball.
Yeah, two out of 8 to start the game. or 2 out of 7 to start the game early, and then now they're 3 for 4 out of their last ones. So when you get the ball to fall, it changes the outcome of the game, and really Centerville playing with a lot of emphasis. And when the second quarter started, I thought Springboro was a few baskets away from almost putting this one away with how lackadaisical Centerville had played.
Yeah,
but
yeah, Centerville just did not start off the game well at all. It looks like Coach Cup was able to pull Najee and maybe a couple of his other guys out for a minute. They were able to regroup, and now
since Najee has come back in, Centerville defense has only given up 2 points.
You see him there talking to
Greavy hits his second 3 of the game. Marshall, guarded by Yates, gives it over to Moomaw, back to Pierce. Marshall open for 3. Marshall's 3's no good. Greavy comes flying in for the rebound.
That was a really nice rebound by Greavy, able to high point that ball up in the air and pull it down.
A foul called against Centerville. I think that is on number 3, Matt Pierce.
And you know, that Centerville run came with Pierce on the bench, so just maybe he's a defensive liability.
Yates gets it down low to Powell. Powell backing up. Moomaw gives it over to Burner, and Burner with an easy basket.
What a pass. That's great communication by the 2 big men for the Panthers.
And really, you didn't really see it in the play, but Burner had a terrific spin move around Najee to get that wide open shot. Marshall drives in, kicks it out to Moomaw. Moomaw that one was halfway down.
Now Yates is gonna bring it up the court.
Yates gets it to Greavy. I've seen Greavy just shoot it, and he will. No good. That one they count as a 3.
I don't think that was a very good shot by Greavy. He kind of forced it.
Marshall kicks it over to Moomaw. Moomaw down low to Najee. Najee, spin move in the paint, finds the front of the rim, and no good.
They double Najee almost every time he gets down there. Now Yates is gonna push down the other end, and he's gonna finish. Great effort by the point guard, able to push it end to end and finish over the taller defender.
Out of the Springboro timeout, they're on a quick 6-0 run.
Now Matt Pierce.
Over to Ballard, back to Pierce. Pierce is gonna launch a 3. Pierce's 3's no good. Offensive rebound, and it's gonna stay with Centerville. Heads up play by Moomaw. Now you see Najee and Ballard come out of the game. They bring in Rolfe and Archimialo.
So we saw Rolfe a lot in the last game. Really intrigued to see if he has a similar type of impact out here in the varsity game.
Kicks it to Archimialo. Archimialo, I don't know who he was throwing that one to.
Ill-advised pass on that.
Emmanuel Euchre is halfway out on the court instructing his team what to do. He has got to watch that or the refs are going to give him a technical. Emmanuel left wide open, should have shot the 3. Burner spin moves, gives it out to Greavy. Greavy resets for the 3, and it's good.
Can this guy shoot the ball or what, Jared?
Well, he is the son of former UD legend Norm Greavy. Can't answer back with a 3 of his own. Dickerson with the rebound, gives it to Emmanuel. Kicks it back to Greavy. Greavy pull up from 3 again. That one is way off center.
He's just getting a little too excited. Definitely shouldn't have taken that shot.
Gotten the last 3 to fall for him. But that one was just way ill-advised and off center. Rolfe drives in on Burner. Kicks it out to Moomaw. Moomaw, Pierce just inside the arc. And it's no good. Off defensive rebound by Dickerson. And I think a foul called on Archie Mialo. You see here in the replay, Greavy just pulls up. Emmanuel runs right by him, and nothing happened.
He's just got such a beautiful stroke. When he gets open, I mean, you gotta either get a hand up or just hope he misses.
And so far, 3 out of 5, I believe, to start the game.
Emmanuel to bring it up. He's going to give it over to Greavy. Now Greavy.
Dickerson's going to try his first 3. No good. Greavy with an offensive rebound and a way to save it, and it's going to go to Centerville.
Greavy was the last one to touch that, and he wasn't able to get back in bounds. He's been all over the floor tonight. He's hustling to save it once. He just wasn't able to get back in bounds before he touched it the last time.
Sneed resets at the top of the key.
Over to Marshall.
Marshall drives in. Can't get any separation from Emmanuel. That was a push. 3 on the other end is good by Jason Sneed. Emmanuel driving in, kicks over to Greavy. Greavy launches another 3. Oh my goodness!
The arc on this guy's shot, man. He can really just shoot the lights out. Centerville has not been playing nearly good enough defense on him so far in this game.
50 seconds left in the first half. Marshall gonna pull up from 3, hits no good. But an offensive rebound for Sneed in the putback.
Man, Springboro, you really can't afford those. You don't have that big of a lead, and you can't afford.
No, it looked like Greavy and Powell went up to fight. Euchre calls a timeout.
Springboro really cannot afford to just let the Elks get these easy buckets. The Elks, they, just like in the JV game, they have superior size. I mean, it's not quite the advantage because the Panthers, they have some height themselves. There you see Jason Sneed's layup under the basket. If you're the Panthers, you gotta either call out that rebound, say who's got it, or something, because that's just a mistake that you just cannot afford. Now looks like we're set to restart the game. Greavy will inbound. He's gonna toss it to Yates, and Yates will walk it up. Marshall defending. Now Greavy gets the ball back. He's gonna give it to Powell.
Back to Yates. And really, look at what Springboro is doing. Berner is just sitting out on the arc, not gonna even get involved, but he's keeping the G out of the paint.
I would expect for when Springboro finally goes, they're probably gonna go to the left side or whichever side G's on.
Greavy pull up from 3, it is no good. Berner turn around and it will count if it goes, it doesn't. And that is how the first half ends. Centerville down 7 at home in the first game of the season to Springboro. All right, we're back here at Centerville Gymnasium getting ready for the second half of our MVCC Varsity Game of the Week opener. Springboro holds a 7-point lead, 31-24 over the Elks. What stood out to you in that first half for Springboro offensively?
You know, Jared, offensively, I really think that Springboro was able to kind of move the ball a lot, and they were able to get a lot of different guys, a lot of good and open shots. So I think they need to continue that, but I feel like they made a few too many turnovers in the second quarter, and it allowed the Elks to sneak back into this game. So I think they need to maybe tighten things up a little bit, but I mean, keep the ball moving, because they've definitely been moving the ball a lot.
And really, Springboro is going way too quickly, I think, on the offensive end. I mean, they're not really sustaining any amount of a possession. It's like they're doing one shot and done. As Powell with a step-back jumper to start the second half, no good. And Burner loses it out of bounds.
There was one pass on that possession. It is not really. I mean, they like I said, they worked it around well, but they haven't been able to get many offensive rebounds and really sustain much here as of late.
Pierce can't get his shot to follow, but an offensive rebound by Mumal is no good. And Najee is called for the defensive foul on Burner. Mo Najee, first foul, team's first. Yates going to drive up the court quickly now. And he's going to go all the way, passes it down low to Burner, kicks it out to Moser for three.
That's nice execution by the Panthers. Pierce is going to swing it over to Mumal. Mumal is getting pressured. He finds an open Marshall, who's going to kick it to the corner. An open Sneed
for three. Sneed answers back with a three of his own.
That's a nice way to answer the first make of the
that
half.
Gives Sneed 8 points in the game. Yates works around the screen from Powell, pulls up, shoots a three, no good. Powell with the offensive rebound, and Najee comes in and knocks it off the rim.
If you're the Elks, you can't give up that first rebound, but Najee able to come in and clean it up.
And Pierce, coast to coast.
Gotta love that quick score if you're an Elk trying to cut into this lead.
Pierce, 9 points in the game. Powell drive into the paint and gets the and one call on Najee.
Powell has been very good early and often in this game. He's been able to finish on a lot of his attempts. He really has been a force here for the Panthers.
Neither team has made a free throw yet in this game. Both teams 0 for 1. Powell 0 for 1 again on this trip. Marshall quickly up court. Marshall drives around Yates, kicks it back out to Najee. Burner pokes it away. Burner coast to coast. Burner and Najee blocked from behind.
Jason Sneed's going to get the rebound. He's going to push it up to the corner.
And another turnover by the Elks.
Mumal could not get a hold of that ball.
But take a look at this block from Najee from behind.
The athleticism of the big man. Gotta love it if you are an Elk.
I don't know which I would want to see. A Burner dunk or a Najee block. We got the block.
Now we're waiting on a dunk.
Kick over. Burner thought about a three. He can hit it. Gives it off to Moser. Moser drives in. Kicks it over to Yates in the corner. Yates back to Powell. Powell. And they're going to call.
He carried.
Oh, he carried. That'll be Springboro's first turnover of the half. Centerville has cut it to a 5-point game.
Mumal on the inbound to Marshall. He'll walk it up over to Pierce. Looking like they were going to try and get it to
Sneed down low to Najee. Back out to Pierce. Or no, that's Mumal in the corner. No good.
Greavy with a nice behind the back and then a pass.
Moser's three is good on the other end.
Great find by Greavy. Always keeping his eyes up court. Found the open guy on the wing.
And just like that, it's back to a 10-point game. Kick over Sneed. Denied by Powell.
Wow, I don't think we saw any blocks in the first half. We got 2 here early in the second.
2 within about a minute of each other.
I think the coaches during halftime, they talked to their guys, and each of them said, hey, I want to see some more defense. Let's play a little better, play with some more urgency. And we've seen it so far in the second half.
Marshall shoots a 3, and it's good.
Both of these teams do not mind shooting the 3 at all. They both excel at it. And that's Marshall's second one of the game.
Who cares about shooting percentage? Obviously not these 2 teams. Burner kicks it to Moser, down low to Powell, and Moser just throws it away. Springboro's second turnover of the half.
You know, Greg Popovich said last night in an interview that basketball, he doesn't think that basketball is beautiful anymore. He said that whoever shoots the most threes, whoever makes the most, wins the game. And it's looking like that's what's going to happen tonight.
I saw that, and I really, you can't disagree with him.
And it sucks because, like, he's one of the greatest coaches of all time, and to see that he doesn't enjoy the game as much now as he once did.
Marshall down low to Najee. Najee, turnaround, no good. Offensive rebound and a foul. Let's see, the shot will not count.
They're calling it on the floor.
Burner's second foul, though.
First foul of the half for the Panthers.
Inbound to Archimialo, over to Pierce, back to Marshall.
And now he's going to drive to the basket.
Kick over to Moomaw. Pierce open for 3. And Pierce's 3 is good.
Matt Pierce has been on fire tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
He had the first 7 points for the Panthers. I think he now has 12 in the game. Yates doesn't use the screen from Powell. Yates kicks over to Greavy. Greavy from way behind the arc. Greavy's 3 was touched all aspects of the rim.
The Elks got lucky there. He should have made that one.
Marshall kicks it out to Ballard, and Ballard loses it on the way up, and it'll belong to the Panthers. And you can see the Elk fans are not happy. Let's take a look. Oh, this is Pierce's 3.
That was really good hands by the Panthers on the last defensive possession. They were able to knock it out of Ballard's hands, went off his knee.
Yates tells Moser to go away. He wants the lane. Yates misses it on the way up.
You see the athleticism by Najee. He almost got another one there.
Marshall, that was halfway down. Najee swats it away, but no Elk there to get the loose ball, and Powell comes up with it. Powell storms into the paint and loses it on the way up.
They're going to call the foul on Archimialo, but I don't know about that. That's a little rough. I kind of think he got all ball.
I don't know. Let's take a look at it if we have a replay. That is Archimialo's 3rd.
And he's got to be careful. Still a lot of time left in this game. Don't want to pick up a 4th. They throw a lob, and Powell isn't able to finish it off. It was a really nice attempt, though. Archimialo on the defense, and they're going to call
a foul on Yates.
So that's the second foul of the half on the Panthers.
Yates checks out, and I didn't see who came in. Emmanuel came in. So they're not really losing any speed on the court.
Moomaw on the inbound over to Marshall, and he'll walk it up court. Now back over to Moomaw on the left wing. We're going to give it to Ballard.
Moomaw drives in, kicks it out to Pierce. Back over to Ballard.
Archimialo didn't even look at the rim on that.
Gives it over. Pierce shoots a 3. Pierce hits I thought once it hits the top of the rim, it's out of bounds.
So did I, but Marshall with the rebound. He's going to give it back over to Pierce, and now to Moomaw back deep in the left corner.
Pierce. Centerville swinging it around the 3-point arc. Pierce again from the same spot, and that one's no good.
Really good.
Greavy comes up with it. Powell pulls up from just inside the arc. Shot's no good. Marshall with the rebound.
Took his time. He really wanted to hit that one.
And Centerville calls a timeout, a 30-second timeout.
It's been a back and forth game so far, but neither team has given up too much room.
No, Centerville has dwindled it down to a 4-point lead. But right now, I mean, Centerville's back 3 out of 7 from the 3-point line to start this second half. And really, they're falling back into the trap of the ways they were the first quarter. They have got, you've almost got to put Najee back in. You would think. I mean, they had a little bit of a defensive help then. But, I mean, right now, Springboro, I think they're playing too fast for themselves.
Najee and Archimialo are really the only two real defensive presences that it seems that the Elks have. So without Najee in there and the smaller Archimialo, you would think that the Panthers are going to try and continue to attack.
But they're not attacking at the rim like you would think. They're not attacking in the paint. They're just pulling up and settling for jump shots.
So now Pierce on the inbound.
Moomaw drives in off the inbound. Shot's no good. Sneed on the putback.
And as you can see, Moomaw drives to the rack high up off the glass. Can't get it to go. But Ballard with the second effort, looking to cut the lead to 1. And
Ballard
he does it.
Finally makes a free throw for either team. 1-point game.
And now Ballard taking the point guard up the floor.
Emmanuel kicks it over to Dickerson. Dickerson doesn't look comfortable with the ball in his hand.
Not at all.
So quickly gives it back to Emmanuel. Emmanuel, he traps himself in the corner, and he was pushed.
That's something you can't afford if you're the Panthers. Emmanuel has to know better to not run into the corner. He's a small guy. Everyone on the court for the Elks is taller than him. You can't trap yourself down there in the corner.
And Berner and Yates checks in for Emmanuel and Dickerson.
And I think if you're the Panthers, you have to try and use Berner to attack. They have a huge height advantage right now with them out there. Yates with the ball, he's kicking it over to Moser.
Will shoot a 3. His 3's no good. Offensive rebound for Yates. Pulls up just inside the arc. That's no good.
Ballard with the rebound, and he's going to push it. Now pulls up. He's going to look around, sees Moomaw over on the right wing. Moomaw back to Ballard, and Sneed gets open. Sneed's going to drive.
Kicks it out
to Pierce. Pierce, he's dribbling around, looking, finds Moomaw.
55 seconds left in the third. Pierce drives in, pulls up from the free throw line. It's no good. And a rebound for William Yates. 45 seconds left in the third.
I'll tell you what, for such a small guard, Yates really gets
Yates is in the paint a lot.
He really is.
And I think they're going to call Ballard for a foul.
He is frustrated with that call. He didn't like it at all.
I don't think anybody in the gym liked that call. Oh, that's Archimialo's 4th.
And then as soon as they call out that foul on Archimialo, you see Najee get back up and run in the game. It's like Centerville wanted to play with 6 guys that time.
Wouldn't that be too many men in the huddle?
Something like that.
Yates kicks it out to Berner, back to him. Down low, and it's going to be an offensive foul on Powell.
And that is a mind-boggler for me because I really think that one...
It looked like Powell was held.
It really looked like to me that Ralph reached around and grabbed his waist, but there's a no call. Let's see if we can see it here on the replay.
Right there. Well, not yet. Right there.
Yeah,
Rolf
he had his
holding
hand around his
arm.
back.
I do not know what's wrong with these refs.
So Marshall is going to bring up the ball this time.
Nice backdoor cut to Sneed and 1.
What a play by Sneed. My goodness, what athleticism. He hung up there in the air, took the contact, and still able to finish off the play. He's got 10 points.
And with 40.1 seconds left, Centerville takes their first lead of the game, 40-39.
Centerville's been fighting back a long time. It's been a long way back. It looks like they're finally going to take the lead. It's going to be interesting to see how Springboro responds.
Centerville is on a 16-9 run this whole quarter.
Wow. And it's been
offensive rebound. Sneed kicks it over to Marshall. With 12 seconds left, Cups is telling him to go. 9 seconds left in the quarter. Marshall drives into the paint, kicks it out to Pierce. 2 seconds left. Pierce gets the shot off, and it doesn't count. And that is how the third quarter ends. 3/4 of the way done with our varsity game of the week, and it's a 1-point difference.
Man, if you are Coach Euchre, you really have to be frustrated with your team right now because the guy that got the rebound on that play wasn't even the G. He's 6'9".
Right.
That's if you're gonna let the opposing team get extra shots at the offensive end, you would think that the only guy that you're gonna let get that rebound is their biggest guy, but it wasn't even him.
Right, he's not been on the court for 3 minutes. They're getting it done without Najee.
The Panthers are gonna have to find a way to get their offense moving again.
I mean, Greavy only attempted 1 3 that quarter. Yates attempted 2. 2 out of 5 were the Panthers shooting the 3 ball that quarter with 2 turnovers. So, I mean, they didn't do anything wrong. It's just they had a lot of shots that were missed from inside the arc and no rebounding.
Rebounding definitely is.
And right there, so far, that is probably what the difference maker in the game is that Najee block from Burner on it would have been a wide open fast break and would have put the game, it would have given them a 9-point lead.
Well,
and you think that could have been a deciding factor so far.
Well, you know, he really can be a game changer with his just absolute ridiculous size and athleticism. I mean, he's really the guy that Centerville is going to need to look down the stretch to be able to make stops on defense, but then also be able to put the ball in the basket on offense. He's somebody that I would expect to be highly involved in the final 8 minutes.
Marshall gets the ball to start the 4th and final quarter. Sneed down low. Marshall from the free throw line. His shot is no good. Powell with a rebound, and that's what you like to see from your Coach Euchre. You're getting a defensive rebound at the rim with Najee on the court. Yates drives in off the glass. What a shot!
And Jason Sneed played really good defense on that play. He was just the point guard just a little too quick for him. Got around the corner.
A lot of contact right there. Sneed gonna launch a 3. No good. And a defensive rebound for Yates.
Yates has really looked really good in this game.
Powell with the screen. Yates kicks it off to him. Smart move there by Powell not to drive in on Najee and try and get him off his feet. But the shot's no good.
I think the best way to attack Najee is you got to get him moving a lot. Got to try and run him through a few screens and see if you can get him confused, have him switching throughout different defenders. Now Sneed at the top. He passes it over to Pierce, and now to the corner with Ballard. Pierce up top. Looks like he was going to pull it. Now pulls it from just inside the arc, and he's going to knock one down. Matt Pierce has had a huge impact on this game. He has been knocking down shots in every single quarter.
Burner guarded on the corner by Najee. Down low to Powell. And Moser blocked from behind by Najee, but they're going to call a foul. And it'll be interesting to see who do you call it on.
They're calling it on Pierce.
His second.
That really looked like it was a block.
I think Pierce fouled him before the shot.
Got to be aware of where number 5 is if you are the Panthers.
Moser makes the first free throw for the Panthers all night. Only their 3rd trip to the line.
Both teams have really struggled with their free throw shooting tonight. Be interesting
And
to see
that
if
one's
it can
no
be a deciding
good.
factor.
Springboro 1 for 4 from the line.
Marshall straight to the rack, no good, and Yates is gonna get the rebound, kind of stumbles, but regains possession, and he's gonna push it quickly. Pulls up at the free throw line, no good.
Najee lost it off the top of his head.
Powell got the ball, and then Powell throws it out.
Moser just inside the arc, and his shot is good.
Powell made a bad pass, but Moser was able to regain control and knock down the easy jumper.
Pierce down low to Najee. Najee backing Burner up. Najee goes over Burner and gets an easy bucket.
The big man doing work down low. That was beautiful offense.
Only his second bucket of the game. Yates off the Powell screen, kicks it over to Greavy. Greavy drives in, Circus shots no good, Najee with the rebound.
See, Greavy had to change his approach, had to change his angle on that shot.
Pierce at the other end for 3.
Matt Pierce has been all over this game. The kid has 17, maybe 20
drives
points.
Around. Yates kicks it over to Powell. Moser in the corner, back to Yates. Yates got the defender in the air. His own 3 is no good. Loose ball corralled by Ballard.
Ballard has really played well here the last quarter or so. The last time down the court, he played a really good role on defense. He stepped out in front, and he made Greavy changes the whole trajectory of his shot.
No shot. They're calling Burner for a foul, and it looked like Najee had dropped the shoulder.
And Burner is outraged. He does not like it at all.
Burner's 3rd foul.
If you're the Panthers, you got to stay cool. You had the lead most of the game. It's only a 3-point game right now. You just got to hang on, stick with it, and
one more foul for either team, and they'll both be shooting at least one the rest of the way. Snead off the inbound pass. Moomaw cleaning up the board, and it falls off. And it's going to go to the Panthers.
Najee has just missed on just a few different opportunities to snatch up a board and get a putback. Really kind of disappointed. Moomaw not able to put that one in. Just can't get it to roll in, and then off a G out of bounds.
Back over to Greavy. Greavy drives in, pulls up from 3. Greavy's been silent this second half. It's going to go to Centerville.
And Greavy, after having a huge first half, like you said, Jared, not doing much here in the second half. His father, actually, Norm Greavy, played for the UD Flyers, scored 12 points a game as a senior. He himself could shoot the ball, so I wonder where his son got it from.
And you know his father's probably watching this game.
He's probably somewhere out here in this crowd.
Snead down low to Najee. Najee spin move on Burner, and the shot's no good. And that's going to be Burner's 4th foul.
I'll tell you what, Najee has great toughness because every single time they've thrown the ball down low to him, there's been tons of contact. Just watch as he just works his way inside.
I didn't think he would have the athleticism to move like that with how big he is.
Yeah, he's so strong and agile. He's just able to, and he's got just quick enough feet, good enough footwork that he's able to move around guys and get open shots near the basket.
And now this is where Centerville needs to attack Springboro down low. Springboro with Burner's 4th foul is forced to go small.
And when Burner walked to the bench, you could see the irritation on his face.
Najee makes 1 of 2 from the charity stripe, puts the Centerville Elks up 4, 48-44. Well, Najee comes out of the game, so Centerville's going to match Springboro's size for size. Yates got the advantage on Marshall coming up the court, almost lost it.
If you're Springboro, look to get Powell involved. He's really been their guy as of late.
Powell drives in, loses it out of bounds, and it's going to stay with the Panthers.
Good hustle there on defense by
I believe that was
the Elks.
Archie Mialo.
We've called his name a lot tonight on the defensive end. He's got really, really quick hands. Nice.
Greavy gets it in to Powell. Kicks it over to Yates. Yates drives in, kicks it out, and a charge.
Offensive foul on Yates. He didn't even try to move his body out of the way. And as we see here on the replay, he kicks it out and just goes right into the body.
Mumal barely got that other foot planted as he was moving over.
It's one of those bang-bang plays, and it did not go the Panthers' way.
See, this is why high schoolers, they need to have a high schooler be out here to mop the floor. It takes too much time for a player to run off with a towel.
As you can hear, the Springboro student section yell "towel boy" at Marshall.
Well, right now, the way Marshall has, he's been mopping up this defense all night, having 22 points in the game, I believe. So they haven't had any stop on him tonight for the Panthers defensively. Marshall drives in, kicks it out to Ballard. Now over to Mumal at the top of the key. Marshall drives in, shot off the glass is no good, but I think they're gonna tag Greavy with that foul. That'll be Greavy's first, team's 8th. So they're gonna go to the line to shoot. Well, was he in the act of shooting?
I definitely think so. Haven't been a ton of fouls in this game tonight. That's Greavy's first. Marshall knocked down the first one. Only got 7 points tonight. Not exactly what we're used to seeing out of the senior.
And really, with how much we've called his name tonight, I thought he's had more points than that.
I mean, he's had the ball in his hands a lot. He makes a lot of plays for the Elks, and he's a big part of their offense.
Dickerson's going to launch a three. His three's no good.
Archimialu with a good box out in order to ensure that his team gets the ball back. He kept Powell, one of the best players out there right now for the Panthers, away from that ball. Now to Pierce.
Kicks it over to Mumal. Mumal has a wide open way to the lane. Dickerson blocks it out of bounds.
That was an emphatic block by Dickerson. Wow, he just went up with authority and swatted that one out of bounds.
Archimialo gets the inbound pass, kicks it over to Pierce. Pierce drops down to his knees, somehow keeps
Pierce
the dribble.
with the fancy.
And on the line, it's going to stay with Springboro.
You gotta love the hustle by Ballard for the Elks. Getting on the ground, getting dirty, doing the dirty work for his team, fighting for the loose balls.
And at that point, Najee checks back into the game.
And now they bring back in their anchor.
Archimialo's going to go to the bench. If you're Springboro, you cannot afford to bring Burner back in yet. 2:29, still too much time left. If you're Springboro, you have to get a stop here and get a score quickly. And try and stop this run by the Elks.
Springboro, I don't let that man with the ball right now. I don't let Pierce get another shot at it. He's been knocking him down all night.
Pierce just on the arc. His shot's no good. Dickerson flies in for a defensive rebound.
Yates to push it up the floor.
Yates gives it off to Powell. Powell guarded by Najee out at the three-point line.
Powell really looked like he was about to step into that three.
Greavy gives it off to Moser. Moser's in the corner. And a timeout called by Springboro with 1:56 left. A 6-point game. Springboro has got either they have got to get their threes to start falling, or they've got to find cutting ways to the basket, and they're going to have to try and get around the big man, Mo Najee for Centerville.
You know, I think this is the time where you got to put your big man back in. You got to put Burner, because when Burner isn't in the game, then Najee goes on to Powell, and Powell looks to be the guy on their team that can score in the most variety of ways. He looks to have the largest arsenal, and so you want to have him on a smaller guy that, you know, he can manipulate in the post a little better. But if you are the Elks, you definitely want to keep Najee out there. And they just put Archimialo back in, who is their second best defender. So they're definitely looking to lock it up here in the final 2 minutes. And Archimialo will wind up on Powell. Yates is going to get it after it's tipped by Marshall.
Berner's back into the game for the Panthers. I didn't see him checking at the table. Kicks it out to Powell. Powell shoots a three. No good. Offensive rebound for Moser. Gives it off to Greavy. Greavy fouled on the way up.
What a pass by Moser. He was able to secure the offensive rebound, and that was just a bullet pass across the lane. Able to secure the rebound. Maybe he fouled somebody. Maybe he didn't. But G was in there. Najee was in there once again on the defensive end.
Greavy hits the Panthers' first free throw of the game.
He's been struggling here in the second half, but if
Ballard comes into the game for Archimialo.
If the Panthers are really going to have a shot here,
you've got to come out with a full court press.
They're going to have to come out with a full court press, and Greavy's going to have to start knocking down the shots like he was in the first half.
Greavy hits the second one. 4-point game with 1:40 left.
And they pull out that
Springboro brings
press.
out the full court.
Well, maybe not. It's like kind of a full court press.
They've got to get a stop. Marshall drive into the paint, kicks over. Moomaw thought about launching the three.
Good awareness by Moomaw. Looked at the clock, saw, hey, let's waste some time. Let's make him play defense.
If you're Springboro, you got one foul to give, and it's a 1-and-1. So at one point, do you call it? Moomaw down low to Najee. They don't call the offensive foul. Najee misses.
Goes back up, and he puts it in.
I'm sorry, but that is bad officiating right there by the refs.
He looked like he was there. It looked like he was set. I want to see a replay.
That is number 3 on Powell, and I cannot believe they didn't call the charge.
Look at the MVCC.
He drops the shoulder.
Replay. That's why we're not wearing the stripes, Jared. Now a 6-point game.
7 if Najee can make this free throw. Archimialo checks in for Ballard.
You've got to give credit to the big man. After a quiet first half, he's come out and he's had a really, really productive second half. And the free throw?
No good. Offensive or defensive rebound for Berner.
Yates doesn't have a lot of time. He's going to quickly bring it up the floor.
1:04. Greavy in the corner. Greavy down low to Powell. Powell off the glass. Denied by Najee.
Najee has been everywhere here in the second half. What a block. He is definitely giving colleges a nice little bit of film here in the second half. It's going to go out to Moser.
Moser kicks it over to Yates. 52 seconds left. Springboro's got to start forcing shots. Yates down low to Powell. Powell turnaround jumper is no good. Berner with an offensive rebound.
Blocked again by Najee.
Najee got a finger on that one. 38 seconds left. 6-point game.
And Marshall, he's able to get it up into the front
Euchre
court.
is calling for the foul for the Panthers head coach. Pierce thought about it. Najee down low. Kicks it over. And finally fouled with 19.6 seconds left. That's almost 20 seconds too late.
Man, I know the Panthers wanted to get it to number 11, but you just wasted too much time. They just passed it around for a long time. I can't believe Yates didn't foul. He had Marshall
at 48
pinned
seconds.
Up. He had him pinned up in the back of the in the corner. Wow.
You have the only way Archimialo makes the first. I mean, you don't like blaming games on the refs, but I mean, that Najee, that was a charge, textbook charge. And 18 seconds left, and the Panthers are just slowly running up court. Najee swats it away, and that is gonna do it. Centerville erases a double deficit halftime lead and wins by 7, 53-46 in our MVCC City Barbecue Game of the Week opener.
What a game, Jared.
Very interesting game. Hopefully you guys will tune in next week on Facebook Live for the Centerville Elks versus the Fairmont Firebirds here at Centerville Gymnasium next Friday. Signing off for the rest of Miami Valley Communications crew, Jared Bergstrom and Andy Horton. We'll see you next week.